Hello, everyone. Hello again. I am back with another informative video. This video is going to be about Nancy Mace asks sanctuary mayors a series of questions in front of Congress as well as the American people. It was supposed to be basically a yes or no response to many of her questions, but all these mayors did is deflected, went all around, and gave ridiculous long response. So the Democratic mayor of Boston, Chicago, Denver, and New York City on Wednesday pushed back against the House Republicans, claimed that they are harboring dangerous immigrants and violating immigration laws in sanctuary cities. During a House Oversight Committee hearing on Wednesday, Boston Mayor Michelle Wu, Chicago Mayor Brandon Johnson, Denver Mayor Mike Johnson, and New York City Mayor Eric Adams all defended their actions on immigration enforcement in their respective cities as Republicans on the committee accused them of increasingly prying and impeding on the law enforcement actions, which I totally agree. Chairman James Comer, a Republican, said these mayors led towns that have policies that only create sanctuaries for criminals and promised to hold them accountable for their failure to follow the law and protect the American people. Comer and other Republicans on the committee suggested that the mayors should be doing more to cooperate with the Trump administration and its deportation efforts, which I completely 100% agree. Sanctuary City still enforces U.S. federal immigration laws, but the terms often refer to a limited collaboration with the U.S. Immigration, Custom, and Enforcement, while enacting policies that are more favorable to undocumented people. Yeah, so these policies are more favorable to undocumented people than the American people that's right here in America. As a mayor, I do not control who enters or remain in our country, but I do have to manage the population that is within our city, says Adam, who said as a New York mayor, he is working with the Trump administration on migration aid. Oh yeah, he's working now. What before he was clapping when the migrants were getting off the bus, he was right there clapping. So he's only cooperating because he was under criminal investigation and he was going to get in trouble. In order to carry out this function without having a long-term negative ramification, I must create an atmosphere that allows every law-abiding resident, documented or not, to access vital services without fear of being turned over to federal authorities. Wow. Wu said the Trump administration is making hardworking, tax-paying, God-fearing residents afraid to live their lives. Wow. Are you serious? She's referring this is referring to the illegal immigrants. This is not referring to the American people. A city that's scarce is not a city that's safe. A city that's scared is not a city that's safe. A land ruled by fear is not a land of free, Wu said. Wow, oh, wow, oh, wow. Democrats admittedly criticized the Trump administration, arguing that overreach of federal officials had led to unlawful detention and creating fear in the communities. Let me be clear, the state and the local law that Republicans have issued with today are in full compliance with the law. That is not true. That is definitely not true. Let me be clear, the state and the local laws that Republicans have issued today are in full compliance of the law. This is untrue as it pertains to sanctuary cities. They do not obstruct ICE from carrying out its duties, and they are backed by evidence demonstrating that keep people safe, Ranking Member Jerry Cotley said. That is, I don't believe that. That is not true, and American people know it's not true. Wednesday committee hearing comes as President Donald Trump administration officials have ramped up their immigration enforcement efforts, with Attorney General Pam Bondi shutting down federal grants to sanctuary cities and multiple threats from border czar Tom Homan toward these mayors if they refuse to comply. At the Conservative Political Action Conference last month, Homan criticized Boston and its police commissioner, saying he'll be bringing hell to the cities over its sanctuary city policies. Mm-mm-mm. Let's talk about Tom Homan. Wu said Wednesday. Shame on him lying about my city for having the nerve to insult our police officers who have overseen the safest Boston's been in anyone's lifetime. Bring him here under oath, and let's ask him some questions. No, this is not about Tom Homan. This is about you, Michelle Wu. This is about you and other mayors who are harboring and abetting these illegal immigrants in sanctuary cities. The mayors pushed back heavily on insertion from Republicans that they are welcoming criminals into their cities, blaming Trump administration for labeling immigrants as criminals and pushing misleading critics crime statistics. In other words, they're trying to say too that Americans are commit more crimes than illegals. Yeah, they did say that. They said that Americans commit more crimes than criminals. In other words, wow. If you want to make a safe pass gun reform, Wu later added, stop cutting Medicaid, stop cutting cancer research, stop cutting funds and veterans. This is what will make our city safe. You know, all like I said earlier in my earlier in the video, all they doing is deflecting. Right now, these questionings in front of Congress is not about the cutting of Medicaid, the cutting of all of these different things like research and funds for veterans. This is not about that. This is about you guys, you mayors that are harboring, aiding, and abetting these illegal immigrants. Many Republican lawmakers pointed to specific incidents in each of the mayor's city about U.S. citizens getting injured or killed at the hands of undocumented people, attempting to dispel the mayor's argument. Republican Rep. Jim Jordan got into a contentious back and forth with Johnson involving a Venezuela gang member who injured officer during an arrest. Due to the state's sanctuary city policies, police were forced to arrest the man in public rather than travel into the jail to detain him, something the Republicans criticized, which is true. It's better for them to detain them in jail than to go out on the street and put themselves, as well as citizens, in harm's way. You know, why don't they give them the information so they can go to the jails to arrest them? Republican Rep. Nancy Mace had harsh words for the mayor, saying, "You have blood on your hands over the deaths and the injuries at the hands of these undocumented people. All the mayors here today are actively working to harm American people you represent," Mace said. "You all have blood on your hands." Let me say that again. Nancy Mace said, "You all have blood on your hands." As the committee member accused the mayors of interfering with Trump deportation efforts, the mayor continues to assert that they were in compliance with federal law. I don't think so. No, you're not in compliance with federal law. When you're not complying with Tom Homan and ICE, you are not in compliance with federal law. However, Republican Rep. Anna Pulina Lina disputed the mayor's claim and argued that the sanctuary city policy were in violation of federal law, which is what I just said, announcing she's going to send criminal referrals to the DOJ, which I did mention that in my in my video earlier. I do not think you guys are bad people, but I think you are ideologically misled, which is why, unfortunately, based on your responses, I'm going to criminally refer you to the Department of Justice for investigation. And as soon as I leave here, these will be going over to Pam Bondi, Luna said. I'm not doing that an effort to bully you guys, but I do believe that your policies are hurting the American people. And she's absolutely right. She's absolutely right. They have blood on their hands. They don't want to comply. You know, she asked simple questions. They couldn't give a yes or no response. They went all around the questions, all around, not trying to answer the questions and deflect and mix people up. But Nancy Mace is very intelligent. Pam Bondi is intelligent. The GOP is a very intelligent group of people, and yes, they are, in my opinion, they are harboring and they are abetting these criminals. They are making it very unsafe for the American people. Look what happened to Lincoln Riley, and there were other women that lost their lives to illegal immigrants. I don't understand. It's clear as day that these people, these so-called mayors of Denver, Illinois, Chicago, Illinois, Boston, and New York City. They are in non-compliance. They will not comply with the law. They are not complying with the federal law, and I think they should be prosecuted. All of them are horrible. Brandon Johnson, with his mohawk up on top of his head, with his silly behind, he's the worst. He's the worst. Oh my God. I cannot believe they can sit there in front of Congress and the American people and say they are not harboring and abetting and helping these illegals to do what they have to do. I cannot believe it. It is so appalling and so sickening, guys. I mean, it's clear that the questions that were asked from Nancy Mace, it's clear that they are not for the American people and they are more for illegal immigrants. You're supposed to take care of home first. Take care of home base first. Then if we have anything left over, then maybe we can try and do a little something. But the main thing that needs to be taken care of is home base. You allow all these people in here off of taxpayer money. They're going to spend so much of billions of taxpayer money. We got the homelessness out here. We got veterans. We got seniors. We got young ladies who have children that doesn't have a place to stay, that they're living homeless. Even that young lady in Denver where her two children passed away in the car. She reached out to Denver social services on several occasions and they were turned away. Meanwhile, they're putting these illegals up, and they're not in compliance with Tom Homan, and they're not in compliance with ICE, which is against the law. You understand? They are harboring they are harboring dangerous immigrants and violating immigration laws in these so-called cities. These main so-called cities. So I say, guys, that they need to be voted out of office. They should not remain in office because it's clear as day they're not for the American people. They are basically for these illegals. I mean, we're not against immigration, but we are for legal immigration. Illegal immigration we're not for, but we are for legal immigration. And it's time that Pam Bondi go on and do what she got to do as far as these mayors, because it's obvious that there's some criminal offense that's going on here as it pertains to the American people. You're helping illegals to remain in this country. You're giving them advice about how to avoid ICE. Even AOC, she's another one. She needs to be brought up on charges too. I believe, yeah, if I'm not mistaken, she was sent over to a Pam Bondi as well, because she making videos and saying all type of stuff, trying to show the illegals how to avoid ICE and stuff. So all of these people that's doing this, when you're interfering with federal law, you need to be brought up on charges. Not only that, since that's what you want to do, then they're gonna stop their funding, and rightfully so, they should do. They should stop the funding. And I'm sorry, if it affect other people in these states, that's citizens of the United States, then hey, so be it. You guys got to vote them out. You understand what I'm saying? You got to vote them out of office, because they're not gonna give federal funding. They said it several times. They are not gonna continue to give federal funding or federal grants rather, and you are not complying with Tom Homan, who is the border czar, and ICE. You're not agreeing with them. You refuse to comply. So you know, Pam Bondi, they shutting down federal grants to all these sanctuary cities who refuse to comply with Tom Homan and ICE, and they brought this on nobody but themselves. But guys, I just want to make this little short video. But Nancy Mace, she ain't no joke. She let Brandon Johnson have it. He was like, no wonder you have a 6% approval rating in the city of Chicago, is because of the things you do. You go ahead and even answer a yes or no question. I mean, a 2-year-old can answer yes and no. Yes, if I ask you a question, answer yes or no. I believe one of the questions she asked Nancy Mace asked, she said, "Do you like criminal illegals better than American citizens? Or do you, something to that effect? She asked, do you like American citizens better than illegal immigrants? They went all around the question. They couldn't even answer the question. You know, you are supposed to be for the American people more than anything. And then I think she asked a question about a sexual assault. Okay, I think one of that question was like, do you think it's right for people who are illegal who commit a sexual assault to remain here in America? They went all around the question. That's a simple question. It's no. You need to prosecute them and deport them out of the country because they are a criminal. They should not be allowed to come back to this country. Simple questions they did not want to answer. And then she told them, it's you guys have BLOOD on your hands. You have BLOOD on your hands because you want these people to stay here in the country and continue to hurt the American people. And this is dangerous. And you know what? The reason they doing this is because they getting kickbacks. It's obvious they're getting kickback. And Mayor Adams, I'm sorry, you are no better because in the beginning when they were getting off the bus, you was right there clapping and welcoming them, and now all of a sudden that you had this charge up on you, and you see that you in trouble, you want to try to do right, but you still in trouble. Billions and billions of dollars have went out of taxpayers' money, and they don't feel no shame in this. I mean, this is insanely ridiculous. So you guys in Boston, Chicago, New York City, and what was the other state? Denver. You guys need to vote these mayors out of office. When it come time up for re-election, you need to vote them out of office. Just on the mere fact of them want to protect the illegal immigrants and allow them to stay in their cities. You guys need to vote them out of office. Okay, guys, that's me with my rat. I came in to make my last video for the day. And come on in, listen to the video, and you can share, push the like button so it can go through the algorithm, and refer my video. This is a conservative lady. I like to keep it real. Any questions you guys may have, put it in the comment section and I will do my best to respond. This is just a small YouTube channel. I'm not trying to get rich off of it. I like to come in and give my opinions at what's going on around the world, as well as reply to a lot of videos that's out here, and a lot of things that's going on. And specifically, I do more my commentary on the Democratic Party because these liberal Democrats, as we can see, all of these mayors are Democrats, and they are just making a mess out of everything. They refuse to do right. They don't want to comply. They see Trump trying his hardest to get things on track. And so far, in my opinion, he has did an extraordinary job. And 76% of the people approve of his speech that he gave. More than half of the people here in America, they approve of a job that Trump is doing. Well, all these people want to do, these Democrats, left liberals, they want to just continue with the division, the hatred, and they do not want to comply. Even if you come midway, you just every day is something with these Democrat liberals, and it's just a headache. But guess what, guys? All they doing is digging themselves more and more into a hole, and other people who did vote for them, let me say that again. Other people who did vote Democrat and vote for their side, they are pulling away as well. They're either pulling, if they're not going to vote the Republican side, they're going to go independent, or they just not going to vote at all. So even if you don't vote at all, you still losing votes. So this every day is something. When you turn on the news, I can't even keep up with all these things. I don't know how the YouTubers do it, but I cannot keep up with all of this stuff that's going on every day. I try to come out and talk about as much as I can, but for the most part, it's just a lot going on with this Democratic Party, and yeah, you guys know what you got to do. Vote them out of office, and I hope they are prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law, and federal funding, if it's going to be not given in these Democratic sanctuary cities, well, You have nobody to blame but your mayors because they're not in compliant with Tom Homan and ICE. Okay, guys, that is my wrap for the day. You all have a great Sunday. I'm gonna get back to what I was doing. I'm doing some cooking. My dinner over here today is smelling so good. I'm old school, so I like to cook food from scratch. And that's about it for me. So when you get a chance, please come on in, listen to the video, and hit the like button and tell me what you feel about the video if you like. Okay, guys, I will be back with more videos next week. You guys have a good Sunday and you be safe. Bye bye.